Hello everyone. Today, this presentation discusses the legal framework and landmark judicial decisions relating to the grant of bail to juveniles in conflict with law under the Juvenile Justice Act. As we have understood in our previous video that child rights have been supported at international level and various treaties have been ratified by most of the countries. These treaties also provide foundation for the bail to the juvenile. Article 37B clearly discusses routine detention and provides that detention can only be used as a measure of last resort and for the shortest appropriate period. Article 37 further provides the right to have prompt access to the legal assistance and right to legally challenge the detention. United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for Administration of Juvenile Justice, which are also known as Beijing Rules, in 1985 provided for the avoidance of pre-trial detention under Rule 13. These rules strongly promote non-custodial measures and bail is preferred unless there is a serious risk. Authorities must explore alternatives like supervision or placement with family before detention. United Nations rules for the protection of juveniles deprived of their liberty, also known as Havana Rules 1990, provided for two key principles in the first two paragraphs. First one is respect for the rights, which means juveniles deprived of their liberty shall not be denied human rights or international law protection due to their status. Secondly, placement in an institution must be a last resort for minimum necessary time. Due to high vulnerability, these juveniles require special attention and protection to guarantee their well-being. The main principle underlining Havana rules was the presumption of innocence, which means everyone, including a juvenile, is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. Now we would understand the meaning of bail. Bail is not equal to acquittal. Bail means temporary release from custody during legal proceedings. It ensures personal liberty. However, it requires presence during inquiry or trial. Bail in India is governed by the provisions of CRPC or BNS for adults and Juvenile Justice Act for juvenile. Juvenile bail differs from adult bail because the law prioritizes rehabilitation over punishment. The main objective of bail to a juvenile is child welfare, no deterrence. It prevents exposure to criminal influence and psychological harm. Keeping a child in custody can have long-term negative effect on development. Hence, bail is a rule and detention is an exception. In India, bail to a juvenile is governed by Section 12 of the Juvenile Justice Act. Bail can be granted with or without surety, and it is applicable irrespective of the offense type. Unlike adults, even if the offense is serious or heinous, bail is still considered first. As far as juvenile is concerned, bail is mandatory. Bail must be granted whether the offense is bailable or non-bailable. This is a major departure from the criminal law. A juvenile cannot be sent to jail or kept in police lockup. He must be released, usually to the parents, guardian, or any fit person. Even in heinous offences, bail is the norm. Bail and trial as adult are separate concepts. A juvenile may get bail even if the preliminary assessment is going on, as preliminary assessment is only carried out for trial as an adult for the juveniles between 16 to 18 years of age. In case of juvenile, bail is a rule. This principle has been adopted by courts in various cases. Some cases are mentioned here. First case is of Dharambir Singh versus State and City of Delhi in 2007. Here, it was made clear that Section 12 makes it mandatory for a juvenile, even if he is apparently a juvenile, to be released on bail. Supreme Court in another case, Re-exploitation of children in orphanages in State of Tamil Nadu versus Union of India 2020, held that once a child is produced before a juvenile justice board, bail is the rule. In another case, Lalu Kumar versus State of Bihar 2019, it was held that Juvenile Justice Board is duty bound to be guided by the fundamental principles enumerated in Section 3 of the Juvenile Justice Act 2015, especially the principle of best interest, repatriation, and restoration of child. The fundamental principles in Section 3:12 provides that a child should be placed in institutional care as a step of last resort after making a reasonable inquiry. Unlike the usual cases where the bail is applied by an accused and he has to make out a case for grant of bail, the position is quite opposite in case of bail for a juvenile. Here, it is not for the juvenile to make out a case why he should be granted bail, but it is for the arresting authority to satisfy the Juvenile Justice Board why the juvenile should not be granted bail. In case of juvenile, there is a reverse onus on the prosecution to make out their case why the juvenile should not be granted a bail. This series would be continued further to explain other important aspects of juvenile justice in detail. This would be helpful for all the individuals, including professionals in legal field. Do continue to watch this series and share your feedback by way of comments.